Hi, I'm Nancy Valentine Smith, and I am a medicine woman of the earth and of the stars. Right now, we are doing a lot of transmutation from our base energy center. The base energy center holds the consciousness, holds the programs of survival. This is shifting, this is changing within us. So that is why you are feeling a lot of discomfort around your legs, your knees, and your hips. There is a lot of movement occurring in our energy field and in our bodies. Know that everything that you are going through is happening in such an accelerated way of transmutation. And you've got this. And it's time, at this time, for you to recognize that you have been doing such incredible work of self-realization. It is not an easy path, and you are not going backwards. In fact, you are moving continuously forward into the new. And it can feel overwhelming because we are moving into the unfamiliar. So right now, it is the base energy center and also the sacral energy center that's in the limelight. And a lot of energies and of past consciousness and stories is being transmuted from these energy centers. And they have their roots in the survival consciousness. One of the things that's being triggered is how habitual patterns that we have, and it's different for everyone. Now, these programs and these patterns come from the base and the sacral, and they were created in a feeling, in a space of survival. And that's survival. The aspect of survival that I'm going to share with you is about filling us up, preparing for a time of emptiness, for a time of scarcity, also preparing us for danger. Now, that consciousness is a collective consciousness. It's a consciousness we hold in the base energy center, survival. And it's been there in our historical data for eons. That's the old consciousness. That's activated at the moment. And that's why some of you might be going into old patterns. You're not going backwards. Please recognize that this is being triggered because you're actually taking quite a lot of leaps into the new, the unfamiliar. And as that happens, the layers of deep core, old survival consciousness in the base energy center will now be brought up, and this creates this vibration in your body, in your feelings. Feelings, the sacral. It creates this vibration of, I must prepare. I must prepare for a time of scarcity. I must prepare for possible danger. Now, that consciousness is the consciousness of survival in the base energy center. That's why some of you might be experiencing certain habits and patterns of old that are coming up at this time. If you can recognize that feeling you're having has to do with not knowing, okay? Because you're going into the unknown. And when we don't know, and when we're moving into the unknown, it is natural in the old consciousness to then start saving up supplies, saving up ways to protect, to stave off danger, to have enough in our being, in our body, for the times of scarcity, the long winters, and so on. This is an old consciousness that's been with us, not only individually, but in the collective. It's actually a really, really interesting time in this moment of our transmutation, because there is a lot of new being established in our energy field. And as this new is being established, it's a lot of light. Then it means that we can go deeper and deeper to core foundational aspects of our being, our earthly being. And that's in the base energy center. That's why there's been that discomfort in the lower part of your body. Please recognize that this is what's going on, because then you won't fall into that space of feeling hopeless and helpless, that you're going backwards. You're not. This is just a time where that layer can now be brought up, and it comes up in bits, because that's the way it just is. What's occurring as we're moving a lot out of the base and sacral is there is this activation that's starting to come in the solar plexus, and that's in the peripheral of our energy field. And the solar plexus brings in that, that energy that can affect us in this way. It's an energy of that there's no more space to entertain the old. So what I mean by that is that you might go into these old habitual patterns, but you might find it's really difficult, or it hits you really strongly if you sit in it for too long. And that's because you have received and you have grounded so much light in your system that anytime any of the old comes up, another layer of the old comes up to be transmuted, it's going to be difficult for us to sit in the old energy. So it's going to be uncomfortable. Our body, our physical body, is going to tell us straight away, that we can't be in this energy, where we might suddenly feel uncomfortable, or we suddenly just feel overwhelmed or off. As we continue to shift out the old energies in the base and sacral energy centers, what's going to start coming in is the solar plexus. The solar plexus actually has been coming in, and how it's been coming in is through the feelings activated in your body. And these feelings pertain to when the triggers of going into your old patterns, your old habits are occurring. It's the solar plexus is saying, you can't sit in this. You can't sit in this. It's okay that it's coming up, but you can't sit in this because you have received and are holding so much more light. And in fact, you are moving forward. And what you're going through is a deep clearing of those base and sacral energy stories. So the solar plexus is being activated to assist. It's saying, you can't sit. You can't sit in this old energy. Yes, it's coming up, but you can't sit in it. You can't hang in it. You can't be stuck in it, because it's just coming up to leave. So one of the ways you're going to feel this is through your physical body telling you in its creative way that you can't sit in the old energy. And that's when the digestion energies are speaking, and that's the sacral. So some parts, not all of it, but some parts of our digestion will be activated to tell us that we're sitting in an old energy and we're sitting in it too long, whether that's a thought, whether that's a feeling, because of the movement in the sacral, moving through our digestion, clearing out very old feelings. If we sit in it too much, and what I mean by sitting in it is if we dwell too much on certain feelings or certain thoughts, then what happens is we'll feel it intensely and it will be a discomfort. And then as soon as you move out of it, right? As soon as you move out of it and move into that space of trust, of allowing, it will alleviate. And that's coming from the solar plexus, because the solar plexus is now saying to us, you have this, you've got this, you have the power to move through this. Don't believe the old thoughts and the old feelings, because they're of disempowerment. The disempowerment is the realm of the solar plexus. That's why the solar plexus is coming in. It's okay to have a rest, to step back. When you're going through so much of these transmutations and feelings, it's actually okay to consciously just say, I need to rest, I'm going to rest. I understand that what I am going through is a major shift on all levels of my being. But for now, while I'm resting, I don't need to work things out, because sometimes you don't need to work anything out, but allow the flow, allow the movement of healing, of transmuting to occur. And you just then move into that space of just resting. Because in that space of resting, you are allowing yourself to create moments in your cells to recover. So it's about working out your own rhythm, because we are going through such a massive time. Because I know with those energy centers of the base, sacral, and solar plexus, they're pretty strong energy centers, and they carry so much about us on all levels. There are powerful energy centers that are in this massive transmutation and upgrade. And so much of the old is pouring out of us, is being pulled up from our foundations and making us feel really unstable. And at the same time, we are now receiving a lot of light that is actually being channeled through our solar plexus and moving through the sacral, to move through the sacral and the base. There's this incredible synergy, there's this incredible process of these three energy centers that is continuously happening in many ways, and many creative ways. So what we're going through is happening in many realms and many spaces within us. So it is important to allow yourself to rest. You don't have to work everything out. Allow yourself to rest and really connect and be conscious and support yourself by reminding yourself, I've not gone backwards, that what I'm going through is a transmutation. I'm moving into a new embodiment. That's what's happening. You're moving out of the old way of thinking, feeling, being. And we're doing this in a time of great, massive shifts happening on the planet and in the collective. And so as you keep supporting yourself and reminding yourself that this is what's happening, then when you go through the different passages, the different tides of this journey, you're going to really work out a way of moving through these shamanic passages of the old coursing through and out of you, and then the new coming in. So you're going to be able to balance and work with these energies in such a profound way. But the important step to start getting in that flow is to be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with yourself when you're going through this process. So anytime those thoughts come up that hassle you, that bother you, that give you feedback that is negative, any of those conversations or the feelings that come up, recognize they come from the energy centers that are clearing out the old, the survival programs, and the old feelings of disempowerment. So it's just coming up and out. It's okay for you to rest. It's okay for you to stay centered in the knowing that you are light and you are grounded here on earth at this time, growing, evolving, and that you are a divine being of light.